How you? Hi, everyone. So, how are you doing today? You've been. It's nice to see you or see your name. Um, my name is Jenna Gaussman. I'm actually going to be leading this workshop, and so I'm kind of curious to know why you, if you want to put it in the chat or just sort of join, or you can just join in, just take yourself off mute and tell me, what do you hope to gain in the next hour? So I know enough to be very dangerous around around the UCs and the Cal States. I know I actually was a business major. That's one reason why the college selected me to be your career counselor during this. I went to Pepperdine University, majored in business, so I definitely know the coursework required, and I'm also now going to be in charge of. I'll be the career counselor assigned to our business department at SMC for our area of interest. So can you guys just kind of once again in the chat or like if anyone's willing to unmute, kind of tell me why you joined us in this workshop today. What are you hoping that you want to walk away with so I can make it the most valuable for you as possible? You guys just didn't have anything better to do at 3:30 on a Tuesday afternoon?
Someone just put in the chat, I'm new to college and want to know about what to do to transfer to a competitive college and what exactly are the best majors in business.
Okay. All right. We can definitely talk about that. Um, Anna, do you mind putting in the chat what really fast before Hennessy reads Luis's um, message? When you say competitive college, you have one in mind. When you say a competitive college, is there a dream school in there?
I um I really like Berkeley
Okay.
and because I've seen, I mean, I'm new to this all like completely, but I've seen that it's very up there in terms of like nationally recognized for being a good college, and I want to know if, potentially I could get there.
Okay, great. Yeah, definitely. We've had quite a few students transfer to the Haas School of Business there. And I'll talk about that. I'm going to have to kind of think about it. The UCs that have business programs, most of them don't, which a lot of students don't realize. Luis, Hennessy, you want to read his chat?
Yeah, Lee said, I'm changing majors and highly interested in a degree in business and would like to learn more about the programs and internship opportunities.
Okay, okay. All right, sounds good. And Kamiko wants to get, when we post them up on YouTube, right? Hennessy, our recordings.
Yeah, we do. I was just about to type that in the chat.
Okay, yeah. So Hennessy's going to put in the chat a little bit about the recordings. Any other reasons that you guys are here, or um, anything else that you want to know? Nope. All right. So the other thing I have, besides being a business major, I also did 15 years. Did sounds like I did time. It felt like time. I was in corporate HR as a human resource manager and HR recruiter for 15 years. And what I did is I had the well, not blah, here. Let me start that again. What who I worked for was I actually had the privilege of working for Johnson and Johnson, Warner Brothers. I worked for a company called Prudential Healthcare, which was purchased by HealthNet. Let's see, I did work up in Santa Barbara, but those are smaller companies. I'm trying to think of some other larger companies here. Bank of America. So I did work within the field of human resources. So keep that in mind as we're about to talk. Uh, so the UCs, let's start with them. So the UCs, and I want you to keep in mind that there's basically, and I'll put it in the chat. There are 6 functional areas of business. All right, cool. Yeah, Dominica, that's a great question about the UC and Cal State business departments. So, so all of the colleges that I talk about today, some of them will have emphasis, like an emphasis or a concentration, most individuals that major in business, you will receive a Bachelor of Science in Business. So as you're thinking about majoring in business, I want you to understand that the difference of BS versus BA and all of the STEM majors. So can someone in the chat tell me what the STEM majors are? What's an example of a STEM major? What does STEM stand for? What do you guys think STEM stands for? Hennessy, you want to help me out here? Oh, there he goes. Engineering? Yes, the E in STEM is engineering.
Is
Go ahead.
is it like science, tech, engineering, and something? I don't really know.
Yeah,
I'm just taking a guess.
yeah, no. Technology, engineering, and I got it. Yeah, STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. So
I was gonna say like mechanics or something.
yeah, so you got to keep in mind that that's a lot of majors. It's biology, it's mechanical engineering, it's mathematics. But guess what? And they're all bachelors of sciences. What that means is that the coursework you take for a BS degree is going to have more quantitative coursework than maybe a Bachelor of Arts would be, which would be psychology or sociology or communications or English. And so you have to keep in mind that in business, it is a Bachelor of Science. It's right below a STEM major, by the way, you guys. It's just like, I wouldn't be surprised if we see in our society in the next couple of years that they're going to put business underneath STEM. As of now, it's not there just yet. So when you're looking at this major, we will go look at some upper division coursework that you would take. I want you to be thinking about from the perspective of that you will be doing a lot of math. This major has a lot of math involved in it. So, all right, hold on. I'm putting in the 6 categories. You guys, it's research and development. We've got finance, accounting, human resources. We have sales. We have, what else do we have? Operations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And number 6 would be, let's see, I got R&D, I've got the sales, oh, IT, technology. All right, so here come the 6 areas of business. And if you major in a business degree, pretty much you can, all right, I don't even know where to start. Finance and accounting, let's start with that. So if I majored in English, could I apply for a finance and accounting position, do you think? So I majored in English at UCLA. I have my Bachelor of Arts in English. And all of a sudden I decide I want to, I'm looking at downtown LA from where I'm standing right now. So I want to go work for a consulting company called Ernst & Young. So I apply to be an auditor, a tax auditor. What do you guys think? Do you think they would hire me even if I've got a 3.8 or 3.9 GPA from UCLA for tax audit? You guys have a 50-50 chance. Who said?
Me, Hennessy. I said I don't think so.
You're right. Because it wouldn't be. You're exactly right, Luis and Hennessy, because you have to have a foundation and a benchmark of finance and accounting to go into finance and accounting. So I would not be eligible literally because I need to have that major underneath my belt to be able to get that entry level position, and then even to start to sit for the CPA. We actually have a lot of students come back to SMC to take the certified public accounting classes though, and they already have a bachelor's degree. Let's say in English, but right out of the gate, I have to major in finance and accounting, or really I need to major in business administration. So keep that in mind. But sales, let's say I want to go into sales though. Do I have to major in business administration? So I want to go sell for Pfizer Actually, Johnson Johnson. Since I worked for J&J, they're such a nice company. So I want to go become a sales representative for Johnson and Johnson, right? Do I need to have a business degree? What do you guys think? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. The answer actually is no. 73% of us are in careers not related to our undergrad, our 4-year majors, our bachelor's degree. So depending upon what you want to do within the field of business will really dictate if you have to major in the business or if you want to expand and do something else. Because Hennessy's heard me say this, it's really about your GPA because you don't know if you're going to go on for an MBA, a master's in business administration. You don't know if you're going to go to law school or to, maybe you're going to um, you're going to be interviewing at that Ernst and Young, and they are going to ask you about your Google, and they will ask you about your GPA from college. So more and more companies are starting to ask you about the GPA, not so much what the major is. So it really depends on you identifying what it is you want to do. So the first thing I want to share is we have a Counseling 12 class, career planning, and highly, highly recommend it. Hennessy, do you mind putting the link to our, from our website as to what Counseling 12 is?
Yeah, I'll put it in.
And Counseling 12 is a career planning class, 1 unit. And I have so many business majors take that class to identify what area of business that is the best functional area for them or what industries they want to go into, because everything is so niche now and so targeted. So this class, it will be invaluable for you to do research and to kind of find out about the business degrees and not so much business degrees, but what you can do with business and what different industries you can go into. Okay, so now let's jump into, I'm going to say this right now. I'll start with the Cal States actually. All the Cal States have a business degree, every single one. All of our Cal State universities have a business degree. It's what we call the, let's see, Hennessy, can you give me screen sharing?
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, no worries. So all the Cal States have business degrees. So what you're able to do is identify a school that you have that you would like to go to, and then start targeting those schools. And so just for fun, some of my favorite business degrees are at Cal States. Are Cal State Northridge here in Los Angeles has an amazing business program. In fact, they're well known for it. And then Cal State Long Beach has an amazing one. Hennessy, do you mind writing them into the chat? So Csun, CSULB, and Cal State Fullerton is an unsung hero that a lot of students don't realize has also a fantastic business program. So does San Diego State. We don't have a lot of students get into San Diego State because they do feed in from their local community colleges, but we're having more and more students get into San Diego State. So if you were to ask me just off the top of my head, my favorite business programs for the Cal States, I'm going to say Csun, Cal State Long Beach, Cal State Fullerton. Actually, I have 2 more. San Diego State and Cal Poly San Luis Obispo and Cal Poly Pomona also have fantastic, they have fantastic business programs as well. But what is the difference between the Cal States and the UCs, right? And so the main difference is that the Cal States is very much applied learning. It's all application based. You'll do a lot of case studies. You can do there's a lot of concentrations around, just for fun. This is assist.org. So let's just go to Csun. So let's just do some research on Csun, Cal State Northridge. And we're going to come from SMC. And we'll view the agreement. So as you see here too, it's more and more common. It's still kind of pretty hard to find. USC and Csun and Long Beach, I believe, are the main 3 ones 3 or 4 ones that have just accounting. So if you know you want to go into accounting, you can literally specialize in it. And do you guys see these options? Option in professional accountancy. So that would be Ernst and Young. Option in information systems. So that's accounting within kind of the technical realm. But we're going to do business. So then you come down here and you look up business. And what you'll find is that the Cal States will have a lot of options. Option in business law, which would then be, it doesn't give you a law degree, but it would prep you for going to law school. Anna, did you have a question?
No, sorry.
Okay, that's okay. You also have global supply chain management. Can anyone tell me what global supply chain management is? Logistics? What do you guys think that is? Just by the name of it. Karen, do you know?
It's, I don't know. Well, it's kind of the person that would be the, I guess, the person that is in charge of supply, like if it's international, like you're able to, I'm sorry, can you hear me?
No, you're doing great. You're doing great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the person that you communicate. You're like the middleman. You're in
Right.
charge of like this. Yeah.
You're the purchasing agent. And it's super important because it's like you have to think about it from the perspective of where's our product in the world? How do we get it to here? How do we get it to market? How do I get the product? How do I get raw materials to the factory to build my product? And so global supply chain management is all of that. And it's a huge job and it's become so important because before computers and Google Analytics, companies would lose millions of dollars just sitting on product in their warehouses and places. And if they weren't moving the product, then they would be losing money because it's their inventory, right? And that's where the accounting person would come into play on this one. I don't know if you guys know Walmart. What they do, they literally supposedly they have trucks just that are assigned different areas full of goods that are most usually like their most common goods. And so talk about just in time. They'll literally get a call saying, hey, the Monrovia Walmart needs more paper towels. Whoever thought we'd have a shortage of paper towels, you guys, or toilet paper. And so there's so anyways, long story short, they would actually then the global supply person would actually make sure that that truck was routed off to Monrovia for that. So it's very it's a very cool, it's very much logistics and travel. And you're dealing with Port of Los Angeles and the Port of Hong Kong, or I mean all over the world. So you have options in real estate, you have option in systems and operations. So Csun has quite a few emphasis, which means, and what that means is that you'll just end up taking a couple core classes in that area. So, and then they also, I just happen to know this, they have human resources, which is kind of let's come down here. So they have health administration, and let's see. I thought they had a concentration in HR. I do know they have marketing though. So they're one of the very, 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 so they have a BS in management. As they just started this. This is fantastic. I didn't know that. And then there's marketing, BS in marketing. So you can literally specialize in some of these areas. So let's just click on the BS in management. And just so you can kind of see what you'd be looking at. So all the public schools are on assist, and you can do a transfer, what's called a transfer agreement between SMC and in this case, it's Csun. How many schools do you think the counselors at SMC recommend that you have identified? How many colleges would we like to see you have targeted for your transfer? What do you guys think? What's the number?
5.
Yes, thank you. It's 5. That's what I usually target with students. Is like let's identify 5 schools like your reach school, you're definitely your middle school, and then like your guarantee. And there are guarantees, by the way, with the Cal States. All right, everybody, if you're asleep right now, wake up. None of the UCs have guarantee for their business programs. Not one. And there's only 5 UCs with a business degree, which I'll talk about in a minute. But all the Cal States have, they do have what's called an ADT, an associate degree for transfer, which is sort of like a guarantee that you'll get in. So that's where you need to really make sure you're talking to your academic counselors. So here's the SMC classes on the right. Here are the classes at Csun. So you do have to take accounting 1 and 2. You do need to take business 5, which is business law. You need principles of microeconomics, principles of macroeconomics, business communications, business information systems, and you need a minimum of Math 28 or Math 7. And then you need Math 54. So can you guys see how this is almost like a STEM major? Because if you've never taken an econ class, I'll tell you what, it's all numbers. It's all supply and demand. It's all theory. It's all theorems. It's all formulas. So these are all the classes in addition to your general ed, that you would need to take at SMC before you transfer. And most of the Cal States, if not all of them, they all pretty much have the same background, but you have to have your targeted school so you know exactly what to take. All right, so now let's see, we are going to Csun, but we want to find out what classes we would take if I'm a business major at Csun. So let's see if this works. Csun upper division. So the other thing, the way to think about college, SMC is like we're your freshman and sophomore year. And then when you transfer, that's your junior and senior year. So with us, you have 38 units of general education. The sooner you can pick your major, the better, because if you do pick business, that econ 1 and 2 that you have to take, it counts as your general ed. You're allowed to double dip it. So let's see, upper division courses. Hopefully this works, you guys. Upper division courses for business administration. So, information is power, right? So here's business administration. Let's see if it works. There's the program description. There's a program requirements. And here's the lower division, which if you look at these, are they starting to look familiar? They're just exactly what you'll be taking at SMC. And then here's the common upper division business core. So you'll do what's called the gateway experience, which is probably, and my guess is that's going to be an internship. And you're going to take financial management, which is the 3rd accounting class. You'll take management and organizational behavior. You'll take marketing management, operations management. Oh my God, I'm having PTSD just reading these classes. I fell asleep in operations management, you guys, every single class. And then so every business major takes these core classes. And then if you're in systems and operations, you'll also then do data analysis and manufacturing. You have to do a composition class, which in a business ethics and public policy. So you then do price theory, logistics, supply chain, project management, and then the GE, your general ed, is going to be done at SMC. All right. Now there might be 1 or 2 little random things that Csun might go, well, Karen, to get your business degree, we do need you to take, I don't know what might be something kind of, lifelong learning, IS 212, right? So they say all of our majors have that class for graduation. All right, there's your magic number, you guys, 120. So if you semester units, 60 units at SMC, you cannot transfer to a Cal State or a UC without 60 units from us. And then when you transfer, you're shooting to get another 60 units, which will then put you at 120. So as you see here, you'll end up with a little bit more because the major has 70 units. And then the GE, our GE is 38 units. But anyways, the 120 is the magic number. All right. That's how you get conferred, how you graduate with when we say a bachelor's degree or a 4-year degree. So does any of this sound exciting to you, or are you guys kind of going, "Ooh, Jenna, I'm not so sure." So so you can click on it. Here's manufacturing resource planning, and it gives you planning and control systems for the management of production and operations, demand management and forecasting, like those Walmart trucks, enterprise resource planning, supply chain management, inventory management, master production scheduling, materials requirements, capacity planning, just in time, activity sequencing, and other current topics. So hopefully you guys are seeing that this is really, really mathematical. This is a very much a quantitative major. Make sure that you do not major in business as a default major, which is what I did, because I didn't know what else to do. Financial aid came to me at 60 units and they said, we're going to kick you out of school. And I grew up in a very low socioeconomic household. So I'm like, hey, I know, I'll major in business. And the GPA suffered. Why do you think? Right. Well, I already told you, I want your GPA to be whole. I want your GPA to be as high as it can be, because 10, 15 years down the road, we're not sure what you want to be doing. Make sense? You guys have to trust me. You'll be 40 before you know it. And all of a sudden you might be like, I'm going back to grad school. I'm going to go to law school. I'm going to go become a college counselor like Jenna at SMC. The first thing they look at is your GPA. And then they look at your major. Actually, they look at your GPA, the school you go to, and then they look at your major. All right, GPA, school, and then major. So unless you have to major in business to do what you want to do, really, really vet it out and make sure that it's the right major for you, because I think a lot of students don't realize how quantitative it is. All right, any questions about the Cal States? None?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question regarding math. Like, as I know, some Cal states, some universities ask for calculus 1, and then some universities ask for math 28 and 29. And which class should we take? Because I enrolled in math 7, and now I'm freaked out that I have to change it, or no?
So did you see here underneath like Csuns? Did you see the or? So do you see how you have an or there? And you're exactly right, though. You have to be very, very careful that there is an or, because the math 28 is easier than the math 7.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, but you have to be very, very careful, because I'm about to jump into the UCs, and they all want math 7 and 8. They will not even look at math 28. Poof.
Oh, so it's better to take math 7 and 8, right?
That's what I would recommend.
Okay.
But you're going to be in there with all those STEM majors that we talked about. So you'll have all the engineering and the biology majors, but it's good practice, I mean, but if you know for sure, this is why it's so important to take that counseling 12, because then you can really identify where you want to go.
Yeah, like my goal is USC, but also I will try to go to these universities. We'll see.
Yeah. So USC, I think I want to say they only want math 7 and 8. Will they take math 28?
Okay.
Yeah. So so be really, really, really careful around the math sequencing. Yes, Kamiko.
So math 54, well, statistics wouldn't be a necessary for the UCs?
Let's go look. Are you guys ready to go look? So do I still have Hennessy on the call?
Yeah.
All right, are you ready? If you could go into the chat, let me see if Jenna has them by heart. UC Riverside, UC Berkeley, UC Irvine.
CR.
So that's 3. Davis does not have one. Santa Cruz does not have one. Santa Barbara does not have one. You know, UC San Diego, because that's where Kimberly transferred to Hennessy, and she's international business. So I'm going to say UC San Diego as well. So how many? That's 4. So only 4 UCs. But what major? Can anyone? I wish I had candy. I wish we were in a classroom. What major do you think all the UCs have that is related to business? And it's more of theory based. So now that you're thinking of the UCs, it's all theory based. Kamiko, which major do you think that is?
Economics.
Yes, excellent. So I wish I had a $5 Starbucks card to give you. They all have economics, every single UC. So if your dream is to go to UC Santa Barbara and you want to go into business, then you're going to major in economics. Now, UCLA has what's called business econ, which is highly competitive. So it's a business, like it's some accounting coursework, but it's still predominantly economics, and it's a 10% admit rate. Same with the Haas School of Business up at Berkeley. So I really, really love UC Riverside, is an unsung hero. So is UC Irvine. And so is, I would say, UC San Diego. Hennessy and I have she has a colleague and one of my students who's just there finishing up her freshman year, her first year of transfer, and she's loving it. So, and the more international classes you can take around international business, I think it's going to make you a better candidate. So I'm also giving you a quick little tip there as far as what would look great on a resume. Why do you think I say that? Why do you think having international economics or international, Kamiko?
Because it shows that you're diverse.
Yep. And what else, Karen? What else?
It could also show that you're keeping up with current or any business related topics. Like I know for one that happened was the ship or the boat that got stuck in, I think I can't remember exactly, but it was a
Right. So definitely you're both exactly right. It's our world. 25 years ago, we would all be just like within the United States, let's say. And we have become so global, and every business now that is of larger stature, anything in the Fortune 50 or the Fortune 100 companies, they have places all over the world. So if you can kind of show that you have this, you've taken some really conscious choices to do some international economics. So like I said, international relations even, which is, political science, even doing, like, if you know that you'd love to work in Asia, and if you took like an Asian, culture class, right? It's going to show that that you're kind of like, you realize that we're getting out of LA. So I love strategizing with students on how to plan out some of the courses that make you look interesting on paper, Okay, so here's UC Berkeley, or it should be, nope, I'm still at Csun. So, okay, here comes Berkeley. And what we're going to do is, it will be underneath business administration. It's called the Haas School of Business. It's a private, there it is, business administration. And so let's take a look at this for the math in particular.
Jenna,
Yeah.
Oh, you read the chat?
No, I didn't read the chat. What did it say?
Oh, someone says, what do you think about choosing a UC over a CSU just because UCs are more prestigious, so it looks better on your resume, even though your major of preference is at a CSU?
It depends on what you want to do. So it depends on where you want to take the business major, and it depends on what type of learning you want to experience. The UCs are going to be much, much more theory-based, more economics classes, a lot more, global policy, things like that, and trade. Whereas the Cal States, as you saw, do you see how hands-on those classes were at Cal State Northridge for upper division? So I do feel pretty strongly that Csun, like Csun, Cal State Long Beach, the state schools I said, I actually do think, and even Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo or Pomona, they are on par with, I would say Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo and Pomona, their business programs are on par with UC Irvine's, UC Riverside's. So it's I think it's acceptable. It's going to be about the internships, which Louise had a question about, which I'll make sure I get to today. So it's going to be about what you do while you're at the school, which is super important. The concentrations, by the way, they're nice to have, but when I was a corporate recruiter, you guys, I didn't care. I just wanted to see that you had 2 to 4 years experience in marketing, selling consumer product goods, things like that. So don't stress over the concentrations unless it's something you really, really, really want to study. So here's High School of Business. So they want business 1, they want econ 1 and 2, math 54, maths. And so look at that. There's the math 7 and 8. So what's missing? I don't see math 28 or, right? We don't have the option of math 28 or 29 here. So you kind of have to go up the math 2, 7, and 8 route, the STEM route. And then of course, English 1 and English 2, which all of you guys will have regardless. So, but if you notice, the UC High School of Business had less requirements than, at least for getting there, than Csun. So let's do UC Riverside. All right, here we go. Yeah, it really does depend on what you want to do. You guys, it's so hard because you say you go to Berkeley or you say that you maybe went to well, you guys answer me, all right, I went to the High School of Business at Berkeley, or I have my business degree from Cal State Northridge. What's the impression in the class, in my classroom? I can't wait to be back in class. But what do you guys think? Is there a difference in impression? Or do you guys think it doesn't matter?
I think that, at least I'm led to believe that this may make a slight difference, especially if you're only just now entering into the field and this is all that you have to offer at the moment. But I do agree with something you said earlier, that internships, stuff you do while at the college, and projects even perhaps outside of it, probably contribute a lot more and show your character a lot more than just like what school you went to.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. Kamiko?
I think we're taught a lot that the school that you choose means everything, and the prestigious schools compared to other schools they say they're not that great. If you pick someone from Harvard or UCLA, which one would they be impressed with?
Right.
So,
and that's why I kind of shared too my top 5 Cal States, that when I was a recruiter, the students coming out of those schools were always solid. And like I just said, I would put them equivalent with some of the UCs for sure. So now I have a student, Hennessy, and I have another student worker who's up at Berkeley, and he got into UC Santa Barbara and he got into Berkeley. This was a year ago. He was going to choose Santa Barbara and he chose Berkeley, which I'm really, really proud of him for choosing Berkeley. And by the way, it's kicked his ass. It has been a huge learning curve. He doesn't regret his decision, but he really has. I'm not going to say he struggled, but he did say, he goes, Jenna, and I picked Berkeley knowing it was going to be more rigorous, and he was right. And so remember, the world of work knows that. The world of work does know that Berkeley is going to be a little bit more rigorous than UC Santa Barbara, right? So there is perceptions, and some are real and some are accurate, but at the end of the day, it is about what are the perceptions. So, and what do you want to do? If you do want to work for one of the big four accounting firms, then you do try to get into that private school, the USC, the Haas School of Business. You know, when I talk about the big four, that's Ernst & Young, Deloitte and Touche, PricewaterhouseCoopers, and what's the fourth one? KPMG. So those are the huge accounting firms, you know, that are on a very global level. So, okay, so here's our lower division, Business 1, Accounting, CIS 1 and 4. Remember, this is UC Riverside. Econ 2, Econ 1, there's our Math 54. Now UC Riverside is saying they'll take Math 29, or they'll take Math 7. So if you wanted to apply to Berkeley, you need to take that Math 7, right? Because Berkeley doesn't take Math 29. All right. So that's the big difference. So let's do upper division coursework at, let's just see the difference in the classes. Upper division coursework at UC Riverside, UCR, upper division coursework at UCR Business Administration. Here it comes, hopefully. Let's see what I can find. Let's let it load. So here they do have concentrations there. So let's click on, this time, let's click on marketing. It just kind of gives you an overview of what it would be. And then here's the prerequisite for every business major: must take a writing, an IT class, law, marketing and distribution, decision analysis, production and operations management, financial management, organizational behavior, financial evaluation, and competitive and strategic analysis. And then, of course, now, as you see here, by the time you're done with your business degree, you will have about 4 economics classes, about 4 accounting classes, and then the rest is sort of like probably 3 different math classes, 2 calculus, and 1 stats. And yeah, all right. So that's UC Riverside. So there's some commonalities here, as you see, right? There's some commonalities there. Let's do, just for fun, let's go to business econ. UCLA, one of my students did just get into business econ at UCLA. Whew, unbelievable. And if you're wondering his GPA, he's at a 4.0, upper division coursework. Okay, so all of a sudden, we're just going to look at this just to kind of for the ease of time. So, well, actually, hold on. So you look at, so here you have economics upper division classes. You see the difference here? Data science, I can't even say these words. Economics and practice, design markets laboratory, economics of entrepreneurship, finance laboratory, intro to game theory, organization of firms, financial markets, financial institutions, pricing and strategy. So you definitely have some commonalities here, but you're just looking at a very different, very much more from a theory based perspective. So, all right. Globalization and gender, international trade theory. Remember that we were talking about that. International trade theory, international foreign exchange market. So you can see the difference between the 2 classes, the 2 different Cal State schools versus the UCs. Very, very, very different. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop the share for just a minute because then you guys can see me. So what questions are coming up for you guys? Anything that you want to ask me now before we jump into just wrapping up here? It's already 4:20. Thank you for the great question and participation. I really appreciate it. Kamiko?
So one thing that I'm having like an issue with, I want to go into marketing.
Uh-huh.
And not every school has marketing.
Correct.
Tips for me or
Correct.
guidance?
Yeah, major in whatever you want. Major in English, major in communications is kind of the softer side of business, as I call it. I would target, like Csun does have marketing. I'm trying to think if any of the other schools have marketing. They have concentrations in marketing. So go look up like Cal State Long Beach. I think they have a concentration in marketing. But to get an actual bachelor's degree in marketing, there's like hardly any, you know. So but since marketing is this soft, is more about knowing your marketplace and knowing people and how we behave and how we operate. You really can major in anything that you, once again, that GPA, because I don't want that to stop you guys from having opportunity in the future. Does that make sense? Kind of?
Yes,
Okay.
kind of.
But CSUN is the spot to go. But if you want to go to UC Riverside and you want to go to, did you see UC Riverside did have a concentration in marketing? So if you want to go to a UC, you major in business. You just major in business or media studies or communications is the closest. And then you do your internships in marketing. And I really, really focus with students about targeting if we could pull up all our phones right now and you could show me your Instagram account, who do you guys follow? Like, what is the marketplace that's super interesting to you? Is it fashion? Is it makeup? Is it music? Is it movies? Is it, every business has marketing, by the way. Even Santa Monica College has marketing. So kind of think of it from that perspective too. I want you to think about what industry interests you. David, and then I'll do Yulia. David, what's your question?
Yeah, I had a question. I know that for the Cal States, they're kind of like there's a deadline. Like for example, I think it might be Polypanova where you have to apply it at June or August to be able to transfer for next semester or the next fall, the coming. I was wondering, is that flexible or is that like completely like that? Like that's it. Like there's no other date.
Is that for business only? Because I don't know if I've heard that. Usually the dates, the deadlines, as soon as you're ready, because the formula you're going for is 60 units equals general ed, which is IGETSI. So just follow IGETSI if you guys don't know what that is. Hennessy, are you still with me? Could you do a link to IGETSI SMC?
I will.
Yeah, thanks. So you follow IGETSI because it gives you your options for the UCs and the Cal States and gives you this opportunity to maybe change your major also. So I beware of counselors that might say, well, you know what, David, it sounds like you want to go to Cal State, you want to go to Cal Poly Pomona, so just do the Cal State general ed. No. In 60 units, a lot can change in your lives, right? All of a sudden, David, you come to me and go, you know what, Jenna? I want to go to Berkeley and major in media studies, right? And all of a sudden now the classes you've taken, you might be behind. So just follow IGETSI, you guys, for your general ed.
Okay.
Great question, David. But anyways, deadline, sorry, I got distracted. So the deadline for the Cal States and for the UCs is always the last day of November 30th. The UC essays applications open on August. The Cal State applications open October 1st. And I've never heard of it being like June or July, actually, unless it's for seniors in high school.
Yeah, I think I might be confusing with like another university. Sorry about that.
Okay, yeah. And because even our private schools, we haven't even talked about that really, and I don't have time to go into it, but because this is UCs and Cal States. USC also, from a private university, hands down one of the best business programs in the United States. And so does, and Pepperdine has a really solid one as well. But USC it's the 20th on US News and World Report. USC always ranks very high as well. All right, Yulia.
Yeah, I have a question. Like, if you get the bachelor degree in business administration, are you able to work later in management or in marketing, or no?
Of course, yeah, definitely.
Yes.
It's the most direct route for sure.
Oh, because I was afraid that maybe I have to take just only management, but then I'm not sure which area I want to specialize. So it is better to take business administration, right?
Exactly. So because it's going to be the more broad, and then you can kind of customize. You'll have like maybe 9 to 12 elective units that you can then customize the coursework. You know, you can go, well, you know what, I am going to take, you know, logistics, and I am going to take a class in human resources. So yes, so business administration is the broad one without a concentration, and definitely puts you into management and opens up those doors for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
So USC, yeah, USC business program, you're buying the alumni too. It's just, yeah. Utilize your alumni associations, you guys. That's, I mean, I was very, very fortunate that I got through Pepperdine, and I just left. I got that degree barely by the skin of my teeth. And I never accessed our alumni. The alumni institutions are just amazing. So yeah. All right. What else? Internships. So I'm going to share my screen, but then I'm going to ask Hennessy to actually put a link. So you can see how Jenna loves Google as her way to find all things SMC. SMC Career Services Center. The other thing is, come meet with us, you guys. Take Counseling 12, and then we have 10 career counselors that you can come and talk to us about this discussion and about industries and what you want to do with your life and what makes the most sense for you. So we're different than an academic counselor, because you'll go to an academic counselor and they'll be like, what's your major? Where do you want to transfer to? And then they'll map it out. So
In the chat, I'm sorry, Jenna, but in the chat, I've included our YouTube link as well as our Instagram.
Great.
And more information on how to book an appointment with us, our hours, our phone number, and our email.
Perfect. Go Hennessy. Let's give Hennessy some claps there. Yeah. So here's our internship. And drop-in hours that you can come and talk to different, you can talk to our internship coordinator. So you do get units for it. So you get anywhere between 1 and 4 units for the internships. We have how to enroll, about the program, all the different, you know, the different, yikes, don't you hate when that happens? And just the different things. But where would you go look for an internship? So you will go to this employment resources, and the first place you should start is hiresmc.edu. So and this is only exclusive to Santa Monica College students. It's local employers post their jobs here. They post internships. They also do part-time jobs. I also do highly recommend, if you need to work, I worked my whole way through college. If you know what industry you want to go into, go find a part-time job in that industry that you want to go work in, and start building that foundation and that network with people. So here's the students. I think I have my son's, yeah. So this is Liam's stuff. So what I like to do is I like to search my school's jobs. And this might seem weird, but I actually sit there and I always click on, Hennessy doesn't know this about me, I always click on view all jobs. Why do you think I do that? First of all, if we look at our number, it's 225, right? Why do you think that's a tip for you to click on all jobs?
I think it's just so that if you feel like there aren't any jobs for you, like regardless if you're not doing anything based on your major, you're still kind of building a foundation with somebody else. And who knows, like they probably know somebody in the industry that you're trying to go to, which like builds connections.
Right. So exactly. And also, I don't want, do you see this filter over here? You can kind of do like a Google search. I don't want any opportunity to get taken off of your search inquiry. So I really like you to have this opportunity to be able to do basically, because, and trust me, 225 jobs, you will be shocked at how quickly it goes, you know? So you can kind of see here's a content editor for Intravision Communications Corporation. So that's a full-time job though. So that's usually like for writing, reading, kind of writing. But you can kind of quickly go through here and see what the job is, see where see who's the employer, and what you do is, let's see, does anyone see anything that looks sort of, let's do an after school teacher. So well, hold on. No, this is, I forgot. I'm talking to business. I'm talking to business professionals here. So it gives you a job description, and it tells you you'd be doing accounts payable. It does say South San Francisco. You can see that 3 times fast. And then it will kind of tell you, please send your resume there. And of course, one of the first things you might want to find out is do you need to be 21? Because they're a beer and wine importer and distributor. But I'm joking, you guys. So definitely think about, do you see this? Majors wanted, any major. But job target is accounting. So once again, it's going to be pretty hard to be an accounts payable or bookkeeping unless you have some accounting background and bookkeeping background. So yeah, so that's how, and then you just apply. So like on this case, we're going to send our resume to Socorro and with a cover letter. So in the Career Center, we do have drop-ins for resume and cover letter help. That's going to be your first step before you start doing internships. And because you need to have your tool, you have to have your toolbox. So, all right. So, and then I know this sounds kind of, the other website I like is Indeed.com. And even though most people think this is for professional levels, and you can kind of just type in Santa Monica, California, and then we're going to type in marketing intern, and then you hit search. And so there's Lionsgate, intern worldwide, influencer for Flight House, a PR intern for a communications company, fashion PR intern, broadcast marketing. So once again, you can kind of click on them. You can kind of get an idea as to the full job description. It usually tells you where you would apply, usually at the very bottom. And or you just hit apply now. There it is. So and it will take you to their site. So I guess my resume is in here. It must have been from another workshop I taught. Okay. All right. Well, it's 4:30, you guys. It's a little bit after. Do I have any last minute questions or any other comments? Or definitely come meet with us and let us do your resume, your cover letter. Let's have discussion about what if a business degree is the right major for you, what's the right school for you. So, all right. Anything else in the chat that you?
No, there's nothing else.
All right.
I don't have a question, but I just want to say thank you so much for doing this.
Sure. I have a thank you. You're welcome. So my last tip of the day too is to where there's a lot of money besides high tech is medical devices, not pharmaceuticals. There's a lot of money, but medical devices like heart pacemakers, new knees. My dad just got his knee replaced. Johnson & Johnson, the company I worked for, it was a catheter to treat arrhythmia. So it's very, very great companies to work for. So I've given you guys a couple of my secrets today. So thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. And of course, and I love your avatar. I love What's the cat's name? Poosh? For Karen Lopez? What's the cat?
I'm not actually sure. I just really like the picture, so that's how I kept it. But this was for my old one. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, it's there.
Yeah, yeah. All right, you guys. Well, have a great rest of the semester. We're in the home stretch. The other thing I'm suggesting to students, because I know we're all kind of going a little store crazy. If you're comfortable, come take one class on ground. Come back and see us. You know, get on ground, kind of get life, and just do one. Just do one. So you don't have to do 12 units because I know the commute sucks, and we all know we all commute to SMC, right? But try to take maybe one class on to kind of get back to normal. So you're welcome, everyone. Have a great, is it the weekend? It's Tuesday. Have a great week. So